If you're a senior receiving Social Security, you've probably heard a lot of chatter lately about changes, updates, and possible new payments. Some of it sounds promising, some of it sounds confusing, and a lot of it is hard to verify. That's exactly why we're here today. We're going to walk through what's actually happening with Social Security right now, what's been confirmed by official sources, and what you need to know as someone who depends on these benefits every month. This is Michael Harris with U.S. Pension Insight, and our goal is simple. We want to give you the facts without the hype so you can understand what's real and what's just noise. Social Security is too important to leave up to guesswork, and whether you're receiving retirement benefits, survivor benefits, or disability payments, you deserve clear and honest information. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to U.S. Pension Insight for clear updates you can trust. So let's get right into it. The first thing to understand is that Social Security payments are continuing on their normal schedule. If you're already receiving benefits, your deposits are being made according to the same calendar that's been in place for years. Payments go out based on your birth date and the type of benefit you receive. For most retirees, that means your payment arrives on the second, third, or fourth Wednesday of the month. If you receive Supplemental Security Income, your payment comes on the first of the month or the last business day of the prior month if the first falls on a weekend or holiday. There have been no changes to this schedule, and there are no disruptions expected. Now, the cost of living adjustment that went into effect in January is still active. That adjustment was applied to Social Security retirement, survivor, and disability benefits to help offset the rising cost of goods and services. Once that adjustment is made at the beginning of the year, it stays in place for the entire calendar year. So the amount you're receiving now already includes that increase. The next opportunity for an adjustment won't come until January of next year, and the percentage for that adjustment will be announced by the Social Security Administration in October based on inflation data. Until then, your monthly benefit amount remains consistent unless there's a specific change to your individual circumstances, such as a change in your Medicare premium or a tax withholding adjustment you requested. One of the biggest sources of confusion right now involves claims about new stimulus checks or additional payments for seniors. It's completely understandable why this topic generates so much interest. Many seniors are living on fixed incomes, and the cost of housing, healthcare, groceries, and utilities has been a real challenge. However, it's important to be clear about this. As of today, there is no new federal stimulus payment that has been approved specifically for Social Security recipients. During the pandemic, there were economic impact payments authorized by Congress and distributed by the Treasury Department, and many seniors did receive those. But those payments were tied to specific legislation that was debated, passed, and signed into law. Any future stimulus payment would require that same process. Right now, there is no such legislation in effect. If you see headlines claiming there's a new check coming, it's critical to verify that information through official sources like the Social Security Administration or the IRS before assuming it's real. There are ongoing conversations in Congress about Social Security, and that's worth understanding. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have proposed various reforms and changes to the program. Some proposals focus on increasing benefits for certain groups, such as lower-income beneficiaries or people who have been receiving benefits for a long time. Other proposals aim to address the long-term funding of Social Security by adjusting how the program is financed or changing the calculation formulas. These discussions are part of the normal legislative process, but discussions are not the same as decisions. Unless a proposal has passed both the House and the Senate and been signed into law by the President, it does not affect your benefits. Proposals can take months or even years to move through Congress, and many never become law at all. So if you hear about a new idea being floated, Understand that it's just that, an idea, until it goes through the full legislative process. For seniors who are already receiving Social Security, the rules governing your benefits are well established. You qualified for Social Security by working and paying into the system, and your benefit amount is based on your earnings history over your highest earning years. Once you begin receiving benefits, that amount is adjusted annually for cost of living increases, and it can also be affected by things like Medicare premiums, which are often deducted automatically from your Social Security payment. But your eligibility doesn't just disappear. You don't need to reapply every year, and you don't lose your benefits simply because time has passed. The system is designed to provide you with reliable income for as long as you're entitled to receive it. If you're receiving Supplemental Security Income, the program works a bit differently because it's based on financial need. SSI recipients must have limited income and limited resources, and the Social Security Administration does review eligibility periodically to make sure recipients still meet those requirements. If your financial situation changes, such as receiving an inheritance or earning additional income, that could affect your SSI payment. But routine cost of living adjustments and standard updates are handled automatically. You don't need to do anything to receive those, and they're applied to your account without requiring action on your part. Medicare is another topic that often comes up in connection with Social Security, and it's important to understand how the two programs interact. Most people who are 65 or older and receiving Social Security are also enrolled in Medicare. Medicare Part B, which covers doctor visits and outpatient care, has a monthly premium, and for most beneficiaries, that premium is automatically deducted from their Social Security payment. Changes to Medicare premiums can affect the amount of money you actually receive in your bank account each month, even if your gross Social Security benefit hasn't changed. Each fall, Medicare announces any changes to premiums and coverage for the following year, and you'll receive information about that during the open enrollment period. It's a good idea to review that information carefully so you understand what you'll be paying and what your coverage includes. One important thing to keep in mind is that Social Security is considered mandatory spending under federal law. That means even during government shutdowns or budget debates, Social Security payments continue. The funding for Social Security comes from a dedicated trust fund that's separate from the general budget, and the law requires that benefits be paid on time. So even if you hear about political disagreements in Washington, your Social Security check is protected and will continue to arrive as scheduled. If you have questions about your specific benefit amount, or if you need to update your personal information, the best place to start is your My Social Security account. This is an online portal where you can view your payment history, check your benefit amount, update your address or direct deposit information, and download important documents like your Social Security benefit verification letter. If you haven't set up an account yet, it's free and easy to do, and it gives you direct access to your information without having to wait on hold or visit an office. Of course, if you prefer to speak with someone or if you have a complex issue, you can still call the Social Security Administration or schedule an appointment at your local office. For veterans, it's also worth noting that Social Security benefits and VA benefits are separate programs, and you can receive both without one affecting the other. However, if you're receiving Supplemental Security Income, other income including VA benefits may be counted when determining your SSI payment amount. If you're in that situation and have questions about how your benefits are being calculated, it's a good idea to reach out to the Social Security Administration or speak with a Veterans Service representative who can walk you through the details. So what's the bottom line? Your Social Security benefits are secure, payments are on schedule, and the program continues to function as designed. The cost of living adjustment from January is already reflected in your current payment, and the next opportunity for an increase will be announced later this year for implementation in January. There are no confirmed new stimulus payments at this time, and any future changes to Social Security will go through the legislative process and be announced well in advance through official channels. Be cautious of sensational headlines and unverified claims. Stick with information from trusted sources and don't let rumors create unnecessary worry. This is Michael Harris with U.S. Pension Insight. Our mission is to keep you informed with accurate, straightforward information you can rely on. If this update was helpful, please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue providing the clarity you deserve. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. If you're a senior receiving Social Security, you've probably heard a lot of chatter lately about changes, updates, and possible new payments. Some of it sounds promising, some of it sounds confusing, and a lot of it is hard to verify. That's exactly why we're here today. We're going to walk through what's actually happening with Social Security right now, what's been confirmed by official sources, and what you need to know as someone who depends on these benefits every month.